Good morning, children. Stay safely at home. So, I am starting the next chapter, propagation of sound. So, what is sound? That you have to know first. What is sound? Sound is the form of energy which produces sensation of hearing in our ears. Alright? Sound is a form of energy which produces sensation of hearing in our ears. And whenever sound is produced due to vibration of a body. You can do this simple experiment. Go to mom's kitchen, take a take a dish made of steel, alright, and from a height you just allow it to fall on the ground. Then you will see a sound will be produced, and that dish was vibrate, and dish will vibrate and sound will be produced. And you will observe that if you touch the dish and the vibration stops, then sound will be stopped. Means vibrating body produces sound. I am giving you the lecture. So what is happening? The vocal cord within my throat, that is vibrating, and the sound is produced. Alright. So how a sound is produced? Sound is produced by vibrating body. Also we can say that a vibrating body is a source of sound. Alright. What is the source of sound? Any vibrating body is the source of sound. You know, any musical instrument when you are playing, where then it is a membrane experiment, then what you do? You vibrate a stretched membrane. Alright. And then when you are playing sitar, guitar, all these things, then how we play it? By vibrating a straight string. So any body, when it vibrates, it produces sound. Alright. Another very important thing is that related with sound, that sound need medium for its propagation. So we can experimentally show it by an bell jar experiment. What is the bell jar experiment? That you see, we have taken one bell jar and we have just inverted it and we have put it on a table, and on the table there is an outlet which is connected to a vacuum pump. Vacuum pump means what? By means of the pump you can insert air within the bell jar, as well as you can take away air, you can create vacuum within the bell jar. And you see, through a knob, what is done? An electric bell is connected with the battery and key. B stands for battery and K is the key. So how the experiment is done? First of all, the vacuum pump is not being operated, means the key is switched on. Alright, and the bell is switched on. Then what you will observe, this hammer, alright, this hammer will strike the gong, electric bell will operate, hammer will strike the gong, and the sound is produced and you can hear the sound. Alright. Now slowly by the vacuum pump, the air from the bell jar is taken away. Then what you will observe, that every time this hammer is striking the gong, but what is happening, the intensity of the sound, it will go on decreasing when air will be taken away. And when there will be no air, perfect vacuum within the bell jar, then what you will observe, that then also this one, the hammer is striking the gong, sound is produced, but you cannot hear the sound. Alright, the intensity of sound becomes zero. Then you do what? Now you start inserting air through the vacuum pump within the bell jar, and you will observe that when the air starts getting inside the bell jar, then slowly the intensity of sound increases. Again, one time when it will be filled up completely by air, then it will be you can hear the maximum intensity sound. So this simple experiment proves that sound needs medium for its propagation. And one very funny kind of question, conceptual question is on it, that suppose you are working on moon's surface. You have gone to moon and you are working on the moon, okay, and somebody is following you. So will you be able to hear the footsteps of the person coming behind you? No. Why? Because you know, moon, there is no atmosphere, no medium, as sound needs. So the sound of the footstep needs medium for its propagation. Sound is produced, but it cannot propagate, it cannot move through the medium. Alright, because there is no medium only. So what will happen if a person follow you on moon, then you will not be able to hear the footsteps. Why? sound of the footsteps. Why? Because in moon there is no medium, no air, no atmosphere, and sound cannot propagate in vacuum. Sound needs medium for its propagation. Now when sound propagates through a medium, then the medium should have these three properties. Alright, so these are the characteristics of the medium that is needed so that it can support or it can allow the sound to propagate through it. Alright, so and this is very important concept wise and exam wise. So you must learn it. Important, that's why I've given the stars. So what are the three properties of a medium to support the propagation of sound or to allow the sound to propagate through it? First is that medium should be elastic. Alright. Now in the next topic only I will explain you that how the sound is produced or what. Now you see, if the medium is elastic, though in the medium you know that sound is produced by the vibration of a body. So when sound propagates through a medium, then the particle of the medium, it vibrates. Okay, and it helps the sound to propagate through it. So when the particle is vibrating, the particle vibrate about its mean position to and fro like this. So if the medium is not having the elastic property, then what will happen? Just see. Consider that medium is not elastic. Then once the particle start vibrating, it has gone to this position. Then unlike this position, unlike this situation, it will not be able to come back to its original position. And if it is elastic, medium is elastic, then only the particle will be able to come back to its mean position and will be able to vibrate to and fro about the mean position. Alright. Now this explanation you don't have to write while writing the answer in exam. That what are the properties of the medium. So you must write that first property is medium must be elastic. Alright, means elastic means what will happen? If it is elastic, then only the particles within the medium will be able to vibrate about their mean position. Okay. Then next one is medium must have inertia. If the medium is having inertia, then only it will be able to store energy within it. Then only if the energy is not stored, then what will happen? When the particles are vibrating, they need energy. Where from the energy will come? So they need energy. So what you can say, they can store the energy only when the medium have inertia. So what is the second property of the medium? That medium must have inertia. Then third one, medium should be frictionless. Why frictionless? Because you know, but to overcome friction, any work is done, it is converted into heat energy, which is nothing but wastage of the input energy. So here what is happening, when the sound, it is a form of energy, it is propagating through the medium. If the medium is having friction, then what will happen? To overcome the friction, the intensity of the sound, the energy of the sound carrying, that will decrease. Alright, so if you want that sound should propagate through the medium, then the medium should be frictionless. So what are the three properties? So that three properties of the medium so that it can allow sound to pass through it. First is medium should be elastic. Second is medium should have inertia. And third is medium should be frictionless. Again I am repeating, this topic is important exam wise, concept wise. So everybody should learn and remember it. Now initially what I said, that sound is a form of energy which produces sensation of hearing in our ears. Alright. Now sound one may consider as a wave also. Alright. So first of all I am giving you what is the concept of wave. Alright. Very interesting and enjoying this topic. I hope you will enjoy it. Nowadays, you know, nowadays it is a rainy season. So when drizzling takes place, then you will observe, suppose there is a pool of water and raindrop is falling on it. Then you will observe that this kind of ripples, it will be created and it will move away from the position where the raindrop is striking the water. Alright, so what is happening actually try to understand it. So you see, when the raindrop is falling, it is in motion. It is having some kinetic energy. Is that clear? So when the raindrop is striking, so let us consider there are water molecules present in the pool of water. So when the raindrop is striking the water molecule, what it is doing, it is transferring its energy to the water molecule. Alright, so after getting the water molecule, the energy, water molecule after getting the energy from the raindrop, what it will do, it will start vibrating up and down. Okay, so you see, this is the water molecule which has received the energy directly from the raindrop. Then it will start vibrating. Next, what will happen? You know that all the molecules, they attract each other. They are, what I can say, they are bound with each other by the intermolecular force. Alright. So what will happen when this molecule will start vibrating? After some time, what it will do, it will share its energy with the neighboring molecule. So you see, these two molecules will now start vibrating up and down. Then what will happen? Next two molecules will start vibrating up and down. Alright. So this is the way, due to the vibration of the particles of the medium, a disturbance will be created within the medium. Alright. That disturbance created within the medium due to vibration of the particles of the medium is known as wave. Alright, so here when you see the ripples, what are they actually? They are the disturbance created within the medium due to vibration of particles of the medium, and this disturbance is known as the. So what is wave? As I explained, the disturbance produced within the medium due to vibrations of particles of the medium is known as wave. Alright, and this kind of wave which is created by the vibration of the particles of the medium is known as elastic wave. Alright, now elastic wave, again there are two type of wave, longitudinal and transverse. There are two kind of waves, elastic wave. One is known as longitudinal wave, another is transverse wave. Now, what is longitudinal wave? Now, let us consider the wave is moving in this direction. Alright, and this point, this is the particle. Alright, now the particle of the medium vibrating parallel to the direction of the wave, then it is known as longitudinal wave. Alright, so what is longitudinal wave? When the particles of the medium vibrate, I am just telling it verbally, I am saying, you write it down. When the particles of the medium vibrate parallel to the direction of the wave, then the wave is known as longitudinal wave. And see the diagram, the wave is moving in this direction and how the particle is vibrating parallel to it. So it is longitudinal wave. Now if it happens like this, the wave is moving in this direction, but the particle of the medium vibrating perpendicular to it. Just look at it. How the particle of the medium is vibrating perpendicular to the direction of the wave, then it is known as transverse wave. So you can say, when the particle of the medium vibrate perpendicular to the direction of the wave, then it is known as transverse wave. So I hope what is wave and what is elastic wave rather. These are the elastic wave. The wave which is produced due to the vibration of the particles of the medium, which propagates through the medium, means which needs a medium for its propagation. That kind of waves are known as elastic wave. And there are two kind of elastic wave, longitudinal wave and transverse wave. And I hope you have written the definition of longitudinal and transverse wave. Now sound is an elastic longitudinal wave. So that's why we should know what is wave, what is longitudinal wave, and what is transverse wave. So sound is an elastic longitudinal wave. Now you have to understand the basic difference between the longitudinal and transverse wave. Alright. Now if you consider the propagation of sound as it is a longitudinal wave, then you see how it propagates. Suppose you have taken one tuning fork. Alright, tuning fork, it is U-shaped prong and there is a handle. Alright, now if you strike the prong on a rubber pad, then you will see the prong will vibrate and sound will be produced. Okay, now how the sound is propagating through the medium, that you have to understand. Now if you consider that this is the prong of a tuning fork, now you may consider that in front of the prong there are different air layers like this. Air layers are present at equal distance. Okay. Now when the prong will vibrate, then you see what will happen. First the prong will come to this position. Alright, it will move like this, no? So you see, first it will come to this position. Suppose it is the first position it has come. Then what it will do? It will push the air layer just in front of it. So what will happen to the air layer? They will come closer to each other. Alright, what will happen to the air layer? Because it is pushing the air layers. So what will happen? The air layers will come closer to each other. So you see, density of air layers, it is increasing from the normal one. So this region, it is known as compression region. Alright. So which one is known as the compression region? The region where the air layers come closer to each other. They are known as the compression region. Now you see, next step what will happen? This one, the prong, it will come here. This I am just drawing the diagram. This prong, it has come from one to this position. It will move like this. No, from first this and then it will come like this. So you see, it has come 1 from 2. So by the time it is coming from 1 to 2, then what will happen? Compression region, it will advance in the it will just move in the forward direction. Now here you see what is happening. Another thing, what is happening when the prong is coming from 1 to 2, it is releasing the pressure on the air layer. So now the air layer, what they will do? They will move away from each other. Means the relative density, the density of air layer will decrease now from the normal one. So the region where the air layers move from each other, moves away from each other, that is known as rarefaction. Alright, and this is compression. I am writing C now. Now again what will happen? Again 2 will come to 1. So when 2 will come to 1, then you see the compression region, it has advanced here. Then another rarefaction region, this rarefaction region advanced here. Then what will happen? Another compression region will be produced. So how sound propagates through a medium? This is the important point. This diagram you may not have to draw. You just understand how it is producing the compression and rarefaction region. But this is the very important point. You have to remember this, that sound propagates through a medium by producing alternate compression and rarefaction region. Alright. Now here you see, as I said, sound is an elastic longitudinal wave. So this is true for all kind of longitudinal wave. So how the longitudinal wave propagates through a medium? By producing alternate compression and rarefaction region. And which region is the compression region? Where the air layers come closer to each other. Which region is known as the rarefaction region? Where the air layers move away from each other. So I have said about the longitudinal wave. Now you must know about the transverse wave. Alright. Now in case of transverse wave, you see the particle vibrates up and down. So you see when the particle vibrates up and down, they vibrate like this. Alright, so here you see a wave will be produced like this. Clear? Means if you consider the particles, they are vibrating, and one region the particle vibrates like this, then another one the particle vibrates like this, and the wave is produced. Alright. So, in this case of transverse wave, you see compression and rarefaction region are not produced. Instead, what is happening? This portion, it is known as the crest, where all the particles are vibrating in the upward direction, and this portion where all the particles are vibrating in the downward direction, it is known as trough. So, you see transverse wave propagates through a medium by producing alternate crest and trough. What I said for longitudinal wave? Longitudinal wave propagates through a medium by producing alternate compression and rarefaction region, whereas a transverse wave propagates through a medium by producing alternate crest and trough. Now what are the differences between longitudinal and transverse wave? So longitudinal wave, what happens? The particles vibrate, particles of the medium vibrate parallel to the direction of motion of the wave, whereas for transverse wave, particles of the medium vibrate perpendicular to the direction of motion of the wave, and longitudinal wave propagates by producing alternate compression and rarefaction, whereas transverse wave propagate by producing alternate crest and trough. Then the third point is very important, that longitudinal wave, as when it is vibrating sidewise, then automatically it will push the particles on its surrounding, isn't it? So that's why you see the strong bonding, strong intermolecular force is not needed for propagation of longitudinal wave. So longitudinal wave can propagate through solid, liquid and gas. But in case of transverse wave, you see transverse wave vibrate perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So if there is no strong bonding between the strong intermolecular force between the molecules, then transverse wave cannot propagate. Alright. So transverse wave can propagate through solid and upper surface of liquid, because in case of solid and upper surface of liquid, intermolecular force is quite strong. So it can help the transverse wave to propagate through it. So these are the differences between longitudinal and transverse wave.